What's up, everyone? I think I'm live. I haven't live streamed in a while, and as I told you all before, I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to live streaming. So let me just quickly double check if everything's in order. Audio, video, everything. Just wanted to thank you all, quickly log on. Thank you all for pretty big milestone, 8K subscribers. Let me just double check to see if everyone, if this thing's even working. We got first. Can you let me know if my microphone and like video, audio, everything's good? I'm trying to watch my own live stream, but oh, okay. Looks like everything's good to go. Nice. Cool. So we're in. All right, how's everyone doing? It's been a while. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you all for, 8K subscribers. Also, checking to see how everyone's doing, how everyone's surviving. This BS economy, these dog shit wages, these stupid ass employers, so on and so forth. I gotta say, I think, guys, I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to think of more and more solutions we can actually implement. I know some of you have been saying, hey, you only talk about problems, you don't have any actual solutions. I mean, it's tricky to think of, like, solutions, right? That's the challenge, but, the more you think about it. I'll share with you guys one real quick. I was thinking, right, since we all know, like, money as a whole is a scam, because, we all seen how bad inflation has gotten, we all seen how bad the Fed is. And, no matter how much this is why no matter how hard you work, you never get anywhere, because guess what? The Fed just prints, prints, inflation, and then let's say, like, you work, like, you really work your ass off, you save up, what, like, 20K, the Fed prints its ass off, and suddenly, your 20K is worth 10K. So that's where I really think the whole red pill idea of, like, just chasing money is just outdated, because, like, you chase money and then you chase something that's not sound in the first place. So what you should really chase, I had a bit of a breakthrough, guys, where I saw through a bit of a glitch in the matrix. Rather than chasing money, you guys got to remember, at the end of the day, what is money? Money is just a means to an end. A medium to acquire resources. What if you could skip money itself and just directly acquire resources? So this is what I kind of been experimenting with lately. I learned to, like, cook my own tofu. You can just buy, like, a huge pack of soybeans for, a couple bucks. Make it into tofu. You got a great protein source that can last you, like, for a whole week. And then, of course, I mean, it doesn't mean you have to go hardcore vegan and only eat tofu all the time. Once a week, you can treat yourself to a steak or salmon or something like that. But generally, yeah, you learn how to make cheap foods. You learn how to cook. You learn how to grow your own food, build stuff, right?
That's a statue of the sun.
And then I'm thinking that's the new Bennett, guys. Like, you just got to decrease your dependency on money instead of constantly being a slave to it. Let's see. Sup, don't you hate April Fools? Oh my god. I just remembered it's tomorrow, huh? For some of you, it might be... No, okay, I guess in Asia it would be right now even, but it's not too many subscribers we have from Asia. I don't think. So yeah, for most of us, it's not April Fools yet. So when you say you want a UBI, who exactly would be paying for it? I mean, it's easy. Like, you get an AI, you get a tax on AI. You don't even necessarily have to tax the rich. You just tax, like, every AI transaction. You tell companies, okay, this technology is obviously super disruptive. It's going to replace a lot of jobs. You want to use it, you can. But you got to pay a tax on it, and you got to distribute it to everyone else. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to. And the other thing about UBI, guys, you got to realize is you can also... Here's the thing about it. You can actually get rid of the entire current welfare system with a UBI. So it's like, okay, the misconception that it would cost a lot is based on like if you add it on top of the current welfare system. But if you just scrap the current welfare system entirely, because that's what's really stupid. You know, you got the government choosing who receives welfare, who doesn't. So if you just scrap it and says everyone gets the same amount, yeah, it costs some, but then like you scrap the entire current welfare program. And then, you know, that's a lot of savings right there to pay for it. So, you know, when you think about it from that perspective, rather than it being like a whole new thing entirely, it's just like it replaces the current existing welfare program, which, let's just be all honest, is incredibly inefficient and unfair. That's where you could really get somewhere. I'm a neat buxer. I own my small house outright, but I have about 550 in bills each month in food. I still haven't been able to save anything. Yeah. Try to like, how much are you spending on food per month? If you can like learn to, you know, go look up like, you know, cheap recipes. You can actually cook a lot of great cheap foods for like, I mean, a lot of really delicious cheap foods if you take some time to learn, and then you can really save up that way. If you're a neat buxer, probably, you know, food is your main expense, to be honest. Do you like anime? I don't have that much time to watch it these days, but yeah, there's definitely some animes. I really like Death Note. That was a classic. Yeah, absolute classic. I like it a lot, but as with a lot of things, I kind of felt like the vintage animes of the past were better than modern stuff. As with gaming, as with the economy, as with, you know, life in general. I love them. Do you have any recommendations? The Cyberpunk anime was a banger. I really like that one. If anyone has any other anime recommendations, please let me know. Okay, let's see, where are we? I don't know what happened. I used to play this game on livestream, but I didn't log on for a while, and it just randomly kicked me back to the very beginning. Okay, let's see. One Piece. Watch. It's too short to me. Solo leveling. Okay, yeah. I heard both of those are good. Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I heard Ghost in the Shell had like a huge controversy with the movie, but the anime is supposedly pretty good.
It's because you're not from this world to begin with.
Yeah, and then yeah, there's some like, you know, you can get some real good motivation, actually, some inspiration from watching those. You really can. Black Clover, Gurren Lagann. Okay, I'll definitely check these all out. Yeah, see if I can find something on Netflix.
Mondstadt is the city of wind because it's so
how's everyone holding up these days? I know, you know, everything we're talking about on this channel, you know, the stupid.
There are also lots of bards
wages,
there, so
wage slavery. How are you all holding up? How are you all, you know, dealing with it out there?
Let's move then. The
are you guys coping all right? Are you not? Be honest, yeah? Like, you know, it's okay to say if things are going like absolute shit. I watched a really good video from Random Hero Gaming. It's another YouTube channel. I want to give a shout out to him. He made a really good point. He was saying, people always tell you to go out and touch grass and just like interact with people in real life. But one of your online friends can actually be more valuable because you actually get to talk and have authentic conversations. Because here, like, you know, if things aren't going so well, we can actually say, you know, hey, you know, I'm not actually doing so well right now. You know, things are kind of going shit right now, and we need to acknowledge the problem and, you know, talk about it to address it. But if you go out and, you know, touch grass, so to speak, and talk to people in public, what's every conversation like? Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Yeah, everything's going great. Yeah, I'm good. You know, everything's so fake, so, like, forced, so shallow. You can never be honest. You can never talk about real problems. So I kind of want to hope to create this community where we can all talk about our real life problems and just be honest, you know? Like, if you're not doing so well, let's talk about it. You know, it's okay to be like, hey, I'm actually not doing so well right now. You know, this whole fake shit of, oh, I'm good. Everything's great. You know, you just never acknowledge the problem, and then if you never acknowledge the problem, how can you ever fix it?
These are the animal powers you got from the Statue of the Seven.
Yeah. I'm doing all right.
So jealous.
Good to hear. I'm proud to be a parasite with no job. As you should be. Every day of work on my freak of being a novelist. Yeah, just pursue your path. I'm telling you guys, if you can collect welfare, there's absolutely nothing morally wrong with it when you consider, like, Elon Musk and these rich billionaires are, like, draining... They're literally leeching, like, billions of dollars of welfare subsidy money from the government every year, you know? People only complain about it when poor people are on welfare, and when poor people... when poor people are freeloading, you know? But like, when the rich do it, per usual, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I think the worst thing about being a neat buxer is like, it's actually a decent life, but, I mean, if you can collect enough welfare to live off, obviously. The worst thing about it is dealing with the psychological shame from, like, you know, friends, family, and society.
Must proceed with caution.
So yeah, you just gotta remind yourself these rich people are on welfare way more than you. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not your fault the economy's this bad. And then I would also say if you're gonna neat bucks, like, find some of your... Find a personal passion of your own and pursue that. Like, don't just nihilistically sit around doing nothing, right? That'll get depressing too. Not as depressing as work, of course, but still depressing. See if you can, yeah, like this guy's doing, you know, writing a novel, you know, drawing a piece of art, things like that. Burden maxing, justice being served to society. Hell yeah. The double standard is real, exactly. Been practicing writing 12 years. Yeah, just keep doing that. Maybe, you know, who knows? You might make it big one day. Anything's possible. You might not. And that's okay too, you know? Like, the whole point of, like, making it is to, like, make money, essentially, and be a GDP printing machine in society. Like, if it works, you know, if you get lucky and you can make it, great, but, like, don't feel bad about it if you don't, you know? You don't owe the society anything, as I said.
Don't be afraid. It's all right.
Okay.
Now. I'm back. Is he
And welfare was not
to a
available for
dragon?
you, as if welfare is not available, what do you do? Well, okay, then you gotta, like, go volunteer somewhere. Like, you can go volunteer in a hostel. I volunteered in hostels a lot in my youth. They give you free accommodation. You do like a chill 20 hours per week. And then, yeah, you get free breakfast, free accommodation. And you get all your bills paid for, essentially. Either that or live with your parents. But I know you, Anton. Welcome back, by the way. I know we talked. I remember you. I know, like, your parents are pretty unbearable. As are a lot of parents from that generation.
Just what was that?
So yeah, I mean, I get, like,
thought we were
living
gonna
with
get
parents
eaten.
isn't a great deal for everyone. So yeah, if you can't do that, I'd say try to find some online source of income. Volunteer somewhere where you can exchange. You know,
Definitely
like
has something to do
20
with that
hours
weirdo
per
who was
week
talking to the
for
dragon.
free accommodation. Because accommodation, rent is really the most expensive thing in the
Yeah,
world right now,
Paimon
right?
gets why
If you
you're
can just
worried.
barter that away for free, that opens up the door. Like, you know, when we talk about online income, making money online, everyone thinks it's a scam and everyone thinks it's impossible
what's
to,
that?
you know, break through with that. But that's because they're operating on the assumption
There's
that you
some
have to
kinda
make, you
shiny
know,
red
like
thingy
a
on the big
full-time
rock
living
over there.
wage off of it, like, you know, thousands per month. If you just go volunteer somewhere, right, and let's say you find some online freelancing gig where you can even make $200-300 a month, that'll be enough to get you started to survive, yeah? And then, you know, you
Let's
just
go
build
take
it
a
up
closer
more and
look.
more till you can eventually save
Be
something.
careful. Paimon doesn't have a
You know,
good feeling about
minimalism
this.
is really the way to go these days. Like, going out hustling, trying to make a ton of money, I just don't see the point. When you consider that, you know,
Paimon's never
the
seen a
government's
stone
just
like
going to
this
print it all
before.
away and it's going to be
So
worthless
Paimon
in a
can't
couple
tell
of
what it
years.
is.
I mean, the debt's already insane. And by the way, as exactly as I predicted,
All
as I
Paimon
predicted,
knows is
Trump
that it's
didn't do jack
dangerous.
shit.
Best
Like,
we put
if
it away
anything,
for
it's
now.
gotten a bit worse. It certainly
Okay,
has
we've
not
got
gotten
it.
better.
Now
I'm
let's
talking about
get out of
inflation. It's gotten a bit worse, not like that much worse, but it's clear, you know, it's never gonna, you can't save it at this point. You can't save the system. The best way to go is just to, like, escape the system. Ooh. Okay. We got more and more people now. Digimon is back in 2025. 2 new animes, 1 new game. I'm gonna try, I watched Digimon a lot as a kid. I loved it. I'm gonna try it again, because, next month, for those of you who play PS5, for PS Plus Premium next month, there's going to be the new No, I don't know if it's new, but a Digimon game's going to be free and available on the PS Plus as the monthly game for April next month. So I definitely plan to try that out. Hopefully get a bit of a nostalgia hit. That was a hell of a show in my childhood, for sure. That makes me glad I didn't vote. Yeah, as I said, it would have been a total waste of time. I mean, it's not like he's made... well, depending on who you ask, maybe he's made things way worse. But certainly, he has not and will not save anyone. So, yeah. I don't know. I've started to turn a bit against the red pill recently. I mean, I've never been like a full-on red piller. I
am Amber,
kind of like thought some elements of the red pill were valid, but as time goes on, I'm feeling like more and more of it's just outdated. Just, yeah, go out, hustle, do like 2, 3, 4, 5 side hustles, save up more money.
Yourselves.
And just make money. You have to make 100K a year or you're a loser.
That's what all the
well, even if you make 100K, you spend all your whole life doing it.
And this mascot.
Government prints it all away.
What's the deal with it?
So what's the point in the end?
I mean, we've only been traveling partners for 2 months, but...
That's why Let It Rot is all popular. How old are you? I'm 35. I'm millennial, but a rebel at heart. We're basically the same. I'm 34. I'll be 35 in a couple months here. I have genuinely never seen a hostile type place as you described, possibly because Romania has been a low trust society. Dude, this is so ironic because the very, very first place, the very first hostel I ever stayed in when I visited Europe was in Bucharest. Go look up, I think they changed their name. It was called X Hostel when I was going there, but you could just like Google Bucharest hostel. It cost $7 per night when I first visited Europe. $7 a night I was able to stay in that hostel for. So I think now it would be more expensive. Out of curiosity, I did check it a couple of weeks ago, and I think now the hostels in Romania cost like $10 a night to stay in. So it's not as good, but it's still really, really good. Like if you're, freaking paying $2,000 per month for rent in America. Just go live in a hostel in Romania. You could pay them like, for a whole month, $10 a night, $300 a month. You'll save up so much. Meet a lot of nice other travelers there. That's basically, dude, I'm telling you guys, I basically spent my entire 20s living in hostels.
Do you have something against
it was actually great. Like a fantastic social life. You meet a lot of interesting people. Not a rich, luxurious life, but I never wanted like a rich, luxurious life.
Reporting for duty. Just say the word if
what
you ever
I didn't
need my
have
help.
in money, I had in valuable experiences traveling, meeting people, trying all these exotic foods in new countries. Yeah, in terms of voting here in Romania, you had the choice between voting for a president who wanted 5 years of mandatory conscription for men or someone which is anti-corruption. I heard that guy got banned. Didn't he get banned from running for president? That's what I heard. Like some Georgescu or something was his name? Something like that. Yeah, this even though I don't like the guy, it seemed kind of unethical what they did. Like the Supreme Court of Romania actually ruled that, like he was winning the election, and then they ruled like just because their guy didn't win, they decided this election doesn't count. So they like rolled back the election results, and then they decided they ruled that he can't run.
Okay, let me finish my
Even though I don't like the
first,
guy, I
and then
didn't
can
want him
help
to
you put
win.
up
That did
posters
sound
around
a
the
bit
city.
corrupt to me.
What exactly is it you need to finish doing first?
Ironically, I made less money at work than
simple.
unemployed living
You'll
off welfare.
understand it a
Exactly.
bit.
This is what I'm saying. All these free market capitalist shills. You're not making much because the free market just hasn't valued your skills. Your skills just aren't that valuable. The free market just has determined your skills aren't that valuable. Well, if that's the case, I can determine via my own free market standards that this job's wages are too dog shit. And yeah, if the job doesn't even pay you more than welfare, then the job can't compete against the free market. It's not offering you something better than welfare, so, the free market capitalist thing to do, the more profitable thing to do is to take the welfare. Like, these capitalists are so capitalist until it, until it benefits the people, right? It's only when it benefits the system and the corporations and where they're super capitalist. Okay, let's see, Digimon. I wonder if this whole live stream is going to be about Digimon. The gap between pro-system candidate and the anti-corruption one was less than 3K votes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Ultimately, I think I'm glad it's good that the guy didn't win and you don't have to like do unpaid military conscription for 5 years. God damn, that's insane. This channel turned me from a weird corpo shill to a socialist. By the way, I recently read about not a new, but like a previously unheard of political philosophy. It's called geoliberalism. You guys can look it up. I think I vibe with that label if I had to choose one. What geoliberalism is about, and this is how, like, if somebody asks you, like, why should you get free shit for not working, geoliberalism has the perfect answer. What geoliberalism is, guys, is like everything, all these resources on Earth, right? I'm talking land, oil, gold, right? They were all free to create. You know, they existed like billions of years before humans, societies, and economies did. So why is it that the government can just move in on the resources, take it up, and then the government doesn't have to pay for it, right? Like, why does the land, the oil, the gold, why does that just belong to the government? And why can the government just get away with, selling, like, let's say they sell like a huge piece of land with gold or oil on it to a mega corporation for trillions of dollars, right?
My task this time
Who
is
did the
to clear out
government
their
have to
camp.
pay for it? No one. But they profit trillions of dollars off it. Meanwhile, we're sitting here. The government didn't pay anyone for the land, right? But we have to pay $2,000 per month for land that was free to create. Doesn't make sense. So geoliberalism is just about, like, the resources of the earth were free to create, right? And so if the government's going to hog that up and just, be entitled to it, they have to share, a portion of those resources with the people. And then that's how, morally speaking, a universal basic income or something of that effect is justified. Like, we are all entitled to the resources of the earth that were free to create just as much as any government did. It doesn't make sense, that the land was free to create. It existed billions of years before humans did, and we have to pay to live on it. So yeah, look it up, guys. That was a really interesting philosophy I read recently. Let's see. Back in 1800, someone could make a living training horses, and they have the gall to say what we do today is unskilled. Dude, this is another fantastic
Jean will be
point.
upset if she catches
I'm gonna
us
go
lazing
out on a
around
limb.
like
I was
this.
thinking about this the other day. I'll probably make a video about this. Gen Z is actually the most skilled generation ever. Like, you think about everything Gen Z knows on, like, everything they learned from YouTube, all the college degrees they were pushed to get. When I talk to Gen Z, younger people than me, this is crazy, guys, because, like, you guys grew up with the internet and all this information available to you. I am dead serious when I say, like, I feel like you guys are smarter and know more than, like, older people. Like, and, almost all Gen Z has college degrees, multiple ones, all highly educated, all have, watched a million YouTube videos about history, coding, whatever you're interested in. There is no generation that's more skilled than Gen Z. Like, if you were to compare Gen Z to like a medieval peasant 500 years ago, let's say, all they knew how to do was farm. Even if all you have is a high school education, you're like light years more skilled than, any generation in the past. So this whole, that's another reason this whole idea of, you deserve your low wages because it's a skill issue. It's all bullshit, because everyone today is like infinitely more skilled than anyone in the past. The job market has just gotten that much more ridiculously competitive that, skill doesn't matter anymore.
Nothing to it.
Tell me, like, what other era? Like, tell me, you tell me, like, if any average medieval peasant or even any average person from any other era, you know, like let's say the Victorian era, what teenager back then is as skilled as a Gen Z teenager today?
Though I've got to say, you surprised me a little with things
like
in
all the
backup.
education
How'd
Gen
it
Z
feel?
has, I'm talking both formal education
Now
and
that
all
you
the shit they've
mention it,
learned through the
how
internet
is
and
it
the
that
information
Helios
age.
ended up here?
What young person of any previous generation can
These
come
creatures
close
don't
to
seem like the
matching
type
the
to set
skill
up
and knowledge?
Exactly.
You know?
It's more normal
They
for them
can't.
to be much further out in the wilderness.
So yeah, this whole idea of, oh, they're not getting paid because,
But because the
of
dragon,
low skill,
storm terror,
like
has been
it's
around a
fucking
lot more
bullshit.
recently,
It's all bullshit.
our orchards have been destroyed,
Van life.
and the local market has been affected as well.
Well, go for it. I mean, it's not for me personally, but I think it's better than working a 9
when the
to 5 for
storms
sure.
hit,
You
we
just gotta
usually
like,
end up with at least a few injuries.
I think it costs. You have to save up about
these annoying
30K
creatures
for
have
it.
been getting closer and closer to
Yeah.
the city.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, if you can save up 30K and you know you like that lifestyle, go for it. What are your thoughts on growing urbanism movement to fight against the housing scarcity? I'm actually not too sure what that's about. I'll have to look it up later.
Exactly. That's
But anything to at least if we're addressing the housing scarcity issue,
Come with me. A responsible
because I feel like part of the
must make
problem is
sure
the
to see
elites
you to
don't want
city
the housing
safely.
scarcity issue to go away. Like this feels all on purpose and all by design. So the fact that at least someone's talking about it and addressing it is a huge step up for sure.
Opening a chest is like
Yeah.
unwrapping a gift.
I thought about no property taxes. Don't get me wrong, they shouldn't exist. But without them, people who die without families will have their houses rotting forever. There's a couple things about this. I used to think that too, that property taxes shouldn't exist. But the land was free to create. If you're not going to have property taxes, you need some other tax to offset it. I guess. I think it should be done like this. I think property taxes should exist. The problem with taxes, guys, is not taxes itself, is that it doesn't go to anything useful. Like, the government just wastes all that tax money. So if you're going to have a property tax, then you put it in a universal basic income fund. That's where it should go, to be honest. Because, again, what is property? Well, it's earth, right? It's land. Land that was free to create. Think about this. You paid, let's say, I don't know, 100K for a plot of land, right? Why did you have to pay that? Why do you have to pay the government 100K for a plot of land? The government didn't pay anyone for it. Why does the government just get it for free?
Come on, let's take a look.
Well, the answer is because, you know, they need to govern so we don't fight each other over the land. Okay, fine. But if they're going to take resources for free, right, they owe a portion of that to redistribute to the general population. Because we're all just as entitled to the resources of the earth as any government is. I think boomers are more selfish than Gen Z. Well, come on, like, of course, like, that's not even a remotely controversial statement. Property taxes keep you working. Taxes are just a pain in the ass. Totally. Well, if there is another way to do it, I mean, I'd totally be down. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think there is probably a way to pay for stuff without taxes too. But, you know, the other thing is like, what you'll realize, guys, capitalism and communism are just two sides of the same coin where like, you know, under capitalism, you become a slave to corporations. Under communism, you become a slave to the government. Here's another part where this is true. Under capitalism, you know, taxes are basically theft from the government, right? But I mean, or under communism, sorry. But under capitalism, think about this. Profits are essentially, like when you work for a company, all right, they have to pay you less than what you're producing. That's how they profit, right? So profits at the end of the day are just taxes paid to a corporation. Like when you work and you generate profits for a company, a profit is essentially a corporate tax levied against their workers. You know? So like profits are theft too. Same way taxes are. Profits are just corporate taxes, honestly. Not corporate taxes in terms of like, you know, the government taxing corporations, but corporations tax their workers via profits to upgrade their own infrastructure and operating costs and whatever. It's all a big scam. About the solar punk, you showed us, of course, we can't have nuclear power because corporate has the money in oil or gas. Yeah, I mean, if it becomes a big enough threat... Oh my god, I hope my game doesn't freeze up, guys. Okay. If this freezes, I apologize. Oh, okay. It looks like it's gonna load. Yeah, if,
Let me officially introduce
They
the city
definitely
of
might
wind,
try to, like,
dandelions, and freedom.
stop, you know, any sort of solar punk city. They always do this stuff. But there's other ways, you know, there's a bunch of solutions out there. The primary thing I just kind of realized, this was my escape from the Matrix moment, it's all about reducing your dependency on money. It's not about making money anymore. Making money is just a scam when, you know, the government just prints and it becomes worthless. If companies are taxed, they raise prices so customers pay taxes instead. Yeah, so, like, but, you know, they can do that regardless. But, you know, they raise it too much, then, you know, people don't pay for their stuff. But, to be honest, like,
Travelers under the protection
profits,
of finally, no more
when companies
having to camp
profit, a
outdoors.
profit
Like,
is a tax,
the
essentially,
city
as I
folk
was
don't
saying
look too
earlier.
cheered. Everyone's been put out of
And,
place by
you know,
storm terror
let's say
recently.
hypothetically, by that logic, right? Hypothetically, if you paid workers less, the, you know, prices should go down. But let's say you really, let's say you hypothetically were able to abolish the minimum wage and companies could pay workers as low as they want. Do you honestly think they're going to use that extra money to lower their prices? No, they're just going to stash that profit for themselves.
Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius.
Like,
Jean,
can you really
defender
look
of
someone in the
Mondstadt.
eye and tell me a
With
greedy
Jean on our
corporation,
side, surely even the
let's say
vicious
you
storm
abolish
terror will
minimum
be no
wage, right?
match for us. Before I take you guys
Do you
to the
really in
Knights
your
of
heart of
Favonius
hearts believe that the
headquarters, I have a
corporation's going to
present for you,
choose to lower
traveler.
their prices if you abolish the minimum wage?
It's a reward
Or
for
are
helping
they
me
just
clear out
going
that
to, you know,
Hilichurl
keep
camp.
prices the same and pay their workers less and profit more? Of course they're just going to profit more.
Why doesn't Paimon
We kind
get
of
a
just got to
reward?
reduce our dependency on corporations in general. We've been lied to. Prices aren't going down anytime soon. They're not.
Because this reward is
From what I've read, I'm not in the
Paimon.
States now. Someone can correct me on this if I'm wrong. From what I've read, inflation's actually gotten slightly worse since Trump has been in
I'll
office. And
treat
I'm
you
not
to a
talking about like
traditional
prices have
Mondstadt
gotten higher.
delicacy.
That naturally
Sticky
happens. But I'm
honey
talking
roast.
about like the rate of inflation has actually gotten worse. Of course, it's early, so we'll see what happens. But all those crazy tariffs and shit I've heard have made things even more expensive. We should just caravan max and vote with our wheels. Totally. I'm
Come
down with
me.
that for sure.
We'll head to the city's
Get some like, you know,
high ground.
RV or whatever. Yeah. Still, if I was a young person, I'd recommend traveling overseas, living in hostels, volunteering. I'm telling you guys, I lived comfortably off $500 a month doing that. Like, if you have any amount of savings saved up, you can probably do that for a couple years. Well, let's say you have like 5K saved up. You could travel. You could easily travel like 2 years off that if you're resourceful. Of course, it's going to be like a very frugal, minimalist existence, but that's kind of the price you pay for escaping the system, right? You know, I
She
never
will
said
be
it was going to be
upset if she catches
glamorous.
us
You just have to
lazing around
decide
like
which
this.
price you want to pay, you know? Do you want to pay the price of, you know, living minimalistically overseas? Or you want to pay the price of, you know, wage slaving away at a corporation, 9 to 5? I personally decided I'd rather sacrifice some comfort,
This used
live
to
on
be
the
a
bare
bustling
minimum
street,
to have freedom
but
and
so
not
many
have to
storm
work.
terror attacks recently, the usual
But if you
crowds are
decide, you
nowhere
know,
to be seen.
it's too risky,
Except for the
I
local
totally understand
tavern
too.
near the
You
city
know, it's
wall over
all
there.
it's all an
They haven't been
individual choice.
affected.
I'm just
If
telling you
anything,
guys,
their business is better than
potential
ever.
solutions. Choice is yours. Okay, we're getting some more people in. Nice. Become nomad like the nomads of Cyberpunk. Oh yeah. Man, I played through that game so many times. And I did the Nomad playthrough too. It was fun. In Sweden, a bar of chocolate went from $2 to $5. What's that? In like the last, like, what, 4 years, I'm guessing? I'm gonna guess since the pandemic that happened. It's crazy to me because, like, when inflation happened in the US, it happened literally everywhere. Literally everywhere. I wonder if that's just because the economy's based on the dollar or what. But yeah, I mean, I've been in Europe, you know, for the last like 10 years now, and we were not immune to the inflation, even though we were on the dollar. everything got inflated here too when, you know, we had that insane pandemic inflation. Yeah, I don't know why. You know, it seems like it happens in the US, happens everywhere. It's got to be because it's the reserve currency. Neat maxing is the only way. Welfare max or suffer. I wouldn't say it's the only way, but it's definitely a great way. And it's definitely a way you shouldn't have any shame over. Probably the most challenging thing about neat boxing is dealing with the social shame. But if you just like immune yourself to that, right? Just block out all the noise and, you know, not give a fuck about people's opinions. I would say it's definitely up there. I would say travel maxing number 1, and then I would say neat maxing number 2, which is really high up on the list, you know? Yeah, like if I didn't travel max, I would definitely neat max if that was available to me. Because think about it, like you neat max, you can stay home, you can pursue your passions, you can build an online business potentially. The thing about jobs, guys, yeah, wages are delusional. I mean, I wouldn't say they're delusional. Like the ones who think it's good are delusional, but we here in this community, there's people who have to work, you know. We don't want to like insult them, right? They're just stuck in that situation through no fault of their own. But so long as they're self-aware and they, you know, they're trying to make a plan to get out of it, I think, you know, that's when they're doing it right, right? But yeah, like if you say, okay, what's more profitable, being on welfare or working like for 10, 12, 15 bucks an hour? For sure, being on welfare. Like, you guys have to understand, I've talked about this in many videos. Jobs are expensive. Like, having a job itself is not free. Paying for a car to get to work, paying for taxes, you know, paying for... By the way, I'm not really doing anything in the game, guys. I'm just hopping around, enjoying the scene. But yeah, like paying for taxes, paying for a car to get to work, paying for the work uniform, having to pay for whatever degrees and certifications that are required for the job. Like, jobs itself are so expensive that, like, you know, with welfare, you at least don't have to pay job-related expenses. Oh, it's a pretty nice scene here in Genshin Impact, if I may say so myself. Between 2020 and 2023, it went from 2 to 3. 2024 today, it went to 5. That's insane. This is why, okay, try and see if you can learn to make your own chocolate, for example. Like, I learned to make my own tofu recently. It's been an absolute game changer. Like, you know, you just buy a huge bag of soybeans and then make it into tofu. You can get a huge quantity in bulk. And, like, for, like, you know, 10 bucks, that's, like, enough tofu to last you for a week. So, just, you know, hustle culture, working hard, making money. It's such a scam when, like, as you just said right there, you know, the chocolate bar goes from $2 to $5. Let's say, like, you know, you work your ass off, you save up $50,000, right? Well, by the time, like, you know, 5 years later, the government prints all this money, your $50,000 is already down to $20,000. What if instead you just learned to make that chocolate yourself? What if instead you just learned how to make chocolate and you did not have to depend on money anymore? You know, wouldn't that be so much more efficient? Like, instead of working hard for depreciating money, you just learn to make chocolate yourself. Whatever the fuck the government does with inflation, it costs you the same amount to make a chocolate bar. You know, that's never going to change. Yeah, this is the little glitch in the matrix moment I had recently. Money is ultimately just a means to acquire resources. So the key to breaking free is just to skip the step of acquiring money to acquire resources and see how you can just directly acquire those resources, right? Learn to make your own chocolate rather than trying to make a bunch of money to buy chocolate. And the next thing you know, the government prints money and the chocolate bar that costs $2 costs $5. And all your hard work is immediately halved in value. You know what I'm saying? Hope that all makes sense. I got fired from my job and collecting $700 in unemployment now. Definitely ride that wave as long as you can. Feel absolutely no shame for it. Not your fault at all. See if you can move back in with your parents. This is what I would do if I were you. I would move back in with my parents if that's possible. Even if you don't have a great relationship with them, bite the bullet, you know, drop the ego for just say like 6 months. right? If you can handle that, and that, you know, the time will go by fast. Collect your $700 a month, move back with your parents, right? Save all the money you can. After 6 months, if you can save up, let's say you save up like $500 a month, right, from your unemployment with living with parents. After 6 months, you'll have $3,000 saved up.
Come on, let's take
With
a look.
$3,000 saved up, you can buy a one-way ticket overseas and live in a hostel. You can. Or volunteer in a hostel. Or yeah, just do some Uber Eats, some easy gig work. Save up enough just to leave, you know. You can buy a small house on the fringe for $50K, negotiate and have low cost of living. That's a great idea too. That's also a fantastic idea. Yeah. There's a great video about someone who drives an older car because unlike now, you
like
actually own the car and can repair it yourself. I think that's okay. Ideally, you'd get into a situation where you didn't need a car. That's the main reason I moved to Europe, guys, is because, like, car expenses just kicked my ass in America, bro. I'm telling you. And the fact that you don't have to have a car is just so liberating. It's so funny because cars were supposed to liberate us by allowing us to drive places. And ironically, it imprisoned us even more because we have to work all this overtime just to pay for this ridiculous gas prices and car insurance, the cost of the car itself. I felt so much liberated. Like, I'll just tell you, like, I moved to like a small village in Europe somewhere where you don't have to drive. That has been the absolute best thing for my finances and my health. I hated driving in the first place. It drains so much money. If you could just reduce your dependency on a car, like, you're a huge step towards escaping the system. Oh, okay, 30 people. We got more and more. This is pretty good for a Monday, I must say. I was gonna live stream yesterday. But I was pretty exhausted after making a bunch of videos. But by the way, we got a bunch of great videos coming out for you all this week. I was able to get down a lot of great scripts. Got a lot of new, interesting things to discuss. Yeah, be on the lookout this week. Great content, by the way. Thank you. Thanks, brother. I am already living with my parents. I plan on doing a volunteer program. Dude, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Hell yeah. That's exactly what I did pretty much. Except my parents weren't generous enough to let me live with them. But, so, I mean, I won't get into the whole story of how I did it. But yeah, that's how you got to do it. Live with your parents. Save up, stash as much of your unemployment as you can. Volunteer overseas. GTFO. Like, America's just too expensive. I'm assuming you're living in America. It's just too expensive. Take your money, volunteer overseas. You can stretch it so much further. I promise you.
Right away.
Congrats on 8K. Thank you so much. Yeah, your channel is a huge inspiration. Thank you. Yeah. We're definitely going to keep doing this. You guys are a huge inspiration too. You know, this is like, when I see your guys' reaction and I see how I'm able to help you guys, this is what inspires me to keep going.
You're really excited about that.
That, and I just have unlimited ideas when it comes to complaining about this BS society. People ask me like, man, how do you have ideas for, like, how do you constantly have so many ideas for new videos all the time? You guys might notice I literally never run out of ideas. And that's because I'm talking about, my niche is complaining about society. And this society is just so fucked up that it gives you so many great ideas to talk about for videos. Like, you can never run out of ideas to talk about if your niche is complaining about society and you're living in this fucked up modern society. Hope that all makes sense. I hate driving. One YouTuber I watched called Shredded Nerd made an anti-transit video and I was kind of disappointed. I didn't see it, but I mean, I would be too. Like, 2 ads in one stream. I didn't tell it to, guys. I don't know. I didn't manage the ads on this stream. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm profiting off that. 2 ads is kind of annoying, though. I'm sorry, guys. 1 ad is fair, I think, but 2 is kind of annoying. I'm far from rolling in dollars, though. I mean, far from it. Not quite there yet. And to be honest, I don't even know if I really want to be. If I ever did become rich off this channel, like, well, I guess that would make me the devil for one. But if it was me, I'm telling you guys, I still wouldn't spend much. And what I would do if I ever got rich from this channel, I would try to start my own form of universal basic income in my community. That's what I would do. I'm telling you guys right now, and I'm putting this on record. So if this channel does blow up to like 1 million one day, you guys can come back to this live stream and quote me on this. Like, if I ever get rich off this, I'm gonna try to start my own universal basic income program. That's been kind of my dream and my vision, and so, you know, why not practice what you preach? Whew. Okay, let's see. They assassinated the guy that made a water-powered car and shelved the invention. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all. Which I guess makes it kind of tricky if you want to, like, change the world or find some sustainable way to live. I will say, today's day and age, you can easily, like, make a YouTube video. Let's say you figured it. Let's say that guy was alive today and he figured out how to make a water-powered car today. He can anonymously just post a video YouTube tutorial on how to do it, how he does it. That's going to get everywhere. They're not going to be able to silence him anymore. You know, for some reason, YouTube is strangely supportive of my content. I've been really pleasantly surprised, I must say, about this. Like, YouTube has, like, not given me any trouble at all, despite the controversial nature of what we talk about. And I guess I wonder if, like, YouTube is, like, you know, also... My theory about this is because YouTube is, like, fighting or Google is, you know, competing against Amazon right now. And the more I bash these corporations, it might even help YouTube in some way. I don't know. But, yeah, surprisingly, YouTube hasn't been, like, censoring my stuff at all. I must say I'm pleasantly surprised. TikTok shadow banned the living crap out of it. We started on TikTok, and every time we try to talk about something controversial or edgy, like, TikTok shadow banned the living fuck out of us. What is wrong with your audio? I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna turn off. The game is lagging. I hate when it does this. It always does this cutscenes when I'm live streaming. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. Let's get this to go through. Okay, I think it got through. Yeah. Okay. Is the sound better? Someone let me know. Imagine future historians watching replays of this stream when they study economics. That's a good point. That's oh man. You know, I'm starting to realize. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Tell me. I've had this hypothesis recently. I think, let's say in the year 2100, right? When there was a utopian society, hopefully, I mean, okay, that's no guarantee. But let's say hypothetically, humanity figures this shit out. You Gen Z chads out there change the world. And humanity in 2100 is a much better society where we fix most of these problems. I really think people 100 years later are going to look back on us and think our mentality that we force people to work is crazy. Like, the same way we look back on slavery as being crazy, I think in 100 years, people are going to look back on this and be like, what? People were forced to work against their will, and they were called lazy for not wanting to do jobs that they hated? Like, they wage slaved away 8 hours a day just to make someone else rich? They're going to look at us the same way we looked at, you know, slaves back in the day. They're going to look at our culture and mentality around work as just being so brutal, archaic, and outdated, you know? They'll probably think like they'll consider us like the Middle Ages in a like ass backwards civilization and era. I really think so. I really think that. And now this is on record, so like, you know, 100 years later, people can go back and watch this video. I think I turned the... Okay, is the game still loud, guys? I'm sorry. I turned it... I'm not sure if it's loud on my streaming software or like on my physical computer and it's going into the microphone. I mean, I turned the entire volume. Why don't you turn... Okay, you know what? Let me just do this real quick. Desktop audio. I'm just gonna turn off the game sound. It should be down now. Sorry, guys. Is the game sound off now? Someone let me know. I believe I turned it off now. Better? Okay, fantastic. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're up to, what, 32 now? Nice. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Cool. Awesome. Where's everyone from, by the way? One strange thing is it seems like, I personally feel like, okay, if we're talking about, like, the West, It's probably the worst in America now, but it seems like everywhere is more or less suffering from the same issues. Just some places are worse than others. Got Portugal. How's life in Portugal these days, my man? Same problems? I know, I heard like not YouTube, what am I saying? Youth unemployment in Portugal and Spain is high as fuck. But culturally, correct me if I'm wrong, generally speaking, culturally in Europe, it's more acceptable to live with your parents and there's better social safety nets. So it's like, in Europe, you'll be like young and poor and living with your parents, right? But in America, you'll be young, poor, and homeless. Kind of feel like Canada, US watching because I have no job. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. Florida. Ooh, man, inflation's really a bit. How are you holding up in Florida? I heard like inflation's awful there now. What's the average apartment price, would you say, in Miami? It's got to be like what? Like 3,000, I would guess. Just ridiculous. Australia. I saw a video the other day from Moon saying Australia's cooked too. It seems like just everywhere's cooked now. No place is safe. Sweden, yes, it's bad here too. Is it bad because of the migrants, or is that not the only issue? Because, man, when I was first trying to leave America, this was like 10 years ago, Sweden was like on my, like, one of my top bucket list places that I wanted to go. But, you know, I heard, yeah, between, like, you know, the migrants, you know, everything else has gotten expensive. Can you neat bucks in Sweden still, at least? Isn't, like, neat bucksing in Sweden, Norway, Finland, like, a very viable option, especially, like, if you're a native citizen? Let me know. I'm curious how viable neat bucksing is in Sweden. Neat bucksing, by the way, means collecting welfare, in case you're unfamiliar with that term. Miami is 3K, won't find anything less. My God. Yeah, how do you even pay for that? How does, like, anyone working, like, let's say, $15, $20 per hour job even, like, afford a place in Miami? The only way you can do it, I imagine, is, you know, by having, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 roommates at this point. Ghetto violence is also bad. Yeah, it's definitely not the safest place. But I was talking about unemployment. How's neat bucksing? How's collecting welfare in Sweden? Is that, like, still a viable option? Society makes 0 sense. 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms are all 1,500 and up. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of time we just sort of, like, redefine success, what it means to be successful in society, you know, because just the traditional definitions don't make sense. They're clearly not working anymore. In Austria, if you worked at least 1 year, you get unemployment money, but the job agency will bug you. You know, okay. I just thought of something. This is where the dog shit job market works in your favor. What is it like? Is it like what? You have to apply for like 2 new jobs per week when you're on unemployment or something like that? Just find, like, you know, the 2 most unrealistic, unqualified jobs imaginable. I mean, not unqualified, like the 2 most unrealistic jobs imaginable. Apply to those. You know you're not going to get the job anyways. You know you're probably not even going to get, like, a minimum wage dog shit job these days. So just go out, apply for, like, you know, some ridiculous PhD, senior, 25 years of experience position, and then have that, you know, show the job agency, well, I applied. It's not my fault you guys created such a dog shit economy where I can't get a job anyways. Like, if these governments are complaining about you being on welfare, make them, like, hold them accountable. Tell them to create a better economy where you can find a job. Like, it's not your fault, like, being like a, you know, what, 20, 25-year-old guy who wasn't even born when all these economic problems started. It's ridiculous. I saw, like, a community post from Denmo recently. If you guys don't know Denmo, no hate towards him. I mean, he's more of a traditional red pill guy. Some of his advice is good, others not so much. But he posted this as, like, weird-ass inspirational meme, like, if you're broke, it's your fault. And it's like, how? Like, How are you going to tell like a young 20-year-old guy that like all this crazy shit that happened before he was even born was his fault? Like, what's he supposed to do? Go back in time before he was born and become a government official and fix the economy? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, these red pill gurus, they're motivational speakers. They don't give you any practical advice that actually helps. All their shit is just a nice sounding motivational speech. But there's not any actual solutions that help you. And that's why, like, you know, like, not defending the blue pill, by the way, not at all. I think the red pill was a huge upgrade from, you know, being a blue pill simp. Massive, massive upgrade, right? But I think a big reason a lot of us are even like getting disillusioned with the red pill is it's all bullshit motivational speeches. No actual solutions. All just things that are supposed to make you sound good. For example, you know, if you ask like how to make more money, what they'll tell you is, be confident, you know, freaking like, just try harder, just work harder, just grind, just read more books. Like, that all sounds nice, but from a practical standpoint, who does it help? Okay, let me stop ranting about it, read some comments here. His advice is so good, he nearly got jailed for SA. Really? I didn't hear about that at all. I didn't hear that. Okay. Society, housing, and terminal. If you have absolutely nothing left, you'll get compensated by the state so that you don't get homeless. Okay, and he said we have decent neat boxing. If you've been employed, you'll get 80% of your previous salary for 300 days. Okay. What's your plan? Like, if you're living in Sweden, let's say in like a wealthier Nordic country with a more extensive welfare state, what's your ultimate plan to like get out of all this? I assume the government's not going to, you know, pay you forever. You'll probably have housing. Are you going to like learn some online income? Are you going to hope for a universal basic income? Are you going to, you know, just learn to cook cheap foods? You could move anywhere in the EU, you know, if you're like a Swedish citizen. Like, you could move to freaking Bulgaria, just, you know, pay the cheap ass rent there, even be a passport bro if you want. But then no, don't be a passport bro if you're living off like neat bucks, because that you're definitely not going to be able to afford that. Just live with yourself, chill, play video games, enjoy the better weather, the nice food, I suppose. I guess that's what I would do. But you don't have to take my word as the last. This is the thing, guys. I'm humble enough to admit, like, I try to give you guys the best advice possible, but I'm also humble enough to know that, like, I'm not God. I don't have all the answers. And, you know, you don't have to take my word as the last word on any of this. You know, I just do my best for this community based on what I've done, what I've known. But, yeah, I'm also humble enough to say I don't know the answer for everyone. I'm not going to be like, just work harder. Personally, I'm just focusing on my skills, building a portfolio. We'll see what the future holds. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do. You're doing it right, I would say. Do the government actually think we care about shaming? They might think that because they're out of touch, you know? So like same way they think like inflation's actually 3%, right? Like same way they actually think unemployment's 4%, right? They're so out of touch with the average person, and they've like manipulated and gaslighted all these statistics. So they might actually think you still give a fuck about shaming. They might actually think that. And I would say they're in for a rude awakening. But they might actually think that. They may very well actually think that. Whew. Thoughts about choosing napping as your favorite hobby. Dude, sleep is so good for you. Like, the worst thing about a 9-to-5 job is like, it disrupts your sleep pattern, especially if you have one of those high pressure jobs. You got to wake up early in the morning. And that's the number one thing that ages you, that like destroys your health, so on and so forth. So, and yeah, like most of us don't get enough sleep. And so, yeah, the more you sleep, the better. You'll preserve your youth. You'll, I'll share you with, I'll just be open and share with you guys one thing. I'm 35 almost in a couple months, and people say I still look 25 in real life. They ask me what's my secret to looking so young. The secret's just I don't work and I sleep as much as I want. Like that's the number one most important thing to being healthy and maintaining your youth and health for as long as possible. Of course, you know, I'm running this small YouTube channel. I gotta live minimalistically like a lot of you, but I'm okay with that. Minimalist life is fine. I'm gonna die drowning here. I jumped off that cliff when I didn't have enough energy left, and this is what happens. This is just like the modern economy, right? When you go to college, just take a leap of faith that you're going to go to college and everything's going to be okay because it's going to get you a degree, right? This cliff right here is a college education. You know, it's like when they tell you, hey, go out, spend $50,000 on college tuition because a college tuition is worth $1 million over the course of a lifetime. And you're definitely going to be able to get a degree, get a good job after you graduate college. Okay, so this is year 1 of college when you're flying, right? And then pretty soon, right here, you go to year 2 where you're in the water. And then it's like you graduate, right? You're still in the water and it's like, I still haven't gotten a job. And then, oh shit, you see that big cliff up there, guys? That's the job market. You have to climb that big cliff of a job market. And you see that red bar there? That's your stamina you have left after you've accumulated all this college debt. And you still got this massive hill to climb. And of course, predictably, what happens is this. As you guys just saw right there. That was a perfect metaphor, I must say. If I may say so myself. Funny, people say I sound 16, but I look like I'm in my mid-30s. I'm 31, people legit think I'm 20. So good, bro. Dude, preserving your youth for as long as possible. This is the only thing us millennials have going for ourselves, is at least we look young. Like, we'll never grow up and take adult responsibilities. We'll never have the economic opportunity to do so. So we're always going to have to act immature to some extent. But the worst thing is if you look 40 and you still act immature. But if you're 40 but you look 20 or 25 and you act immature and you don't take adult responsibilities, you can get away with that better. I've kind of been able to get away with this shit called life just by doing that. Sounds like a compliment. Totally. I'd say absolutely, yeah. I gained weight, feel 15 years older. That's not good. I would say, as much as I'm all for letting it rot, don't let your own physical health rot. Absolutely let the society rot. It doesn't deserve your contribution, but, don't ever let yourself rot like that. Like, take care of yourself at least, bro. Back to traveling. What is your advice for traveling overseas again? Start with cheaper countries. Depends. Okay, I'm going to assume you're from the States. I would start with either Albania or Georgia. Those are 2 very cheap countries. And as an American citizen, you can stay there for up to a whole year without a visa. Like, I started out traveling EU countries. It was a bit of a pain in the ass because you can only do 90 days in Europe before you have to leave for 90 days. So I was constantly nomading around like that for like 10 years. I only later found out there's in Albania and in Georgia, if you're a US citizen, you can stay there for an entire year, a whole year, without needing a visa. And even after it expires, guys, this is the real neat part. You can leave for just 1 day and then immediately come back. That's the real neat part. So I would say start off in Albania or Georgia. You only need about 5,000 to get started. I don't even know where I'm going now. Guys, isn't this a perfect metaphor in life? Like, I can't go up there, but I'm just surrounded by a sea. It's just totally the young man's experience of being lost at sea with no direction now, don't you think? Isn't this just like the perfect setting right now? So, what do you do? What do we do when we find ourselves in this situation? Well, we just meditate and chill for a bit. Enjoy the nature. This is another thing, guys. You don't always have to be moving towards something. You don't always have to be hustling, running towards something, doing something, constantly moving around. Sometimes it's okay to just chill, sit there, stay still, enjoy, meditate, enjoy the moment. Enjoy this nice cool breeze here. So that's what we're going to do for a quick second. That's why I wrote a book on how to escape the rat race. I think you would like it. Bro, join our Discord and share it with us. I'm interested in seeing it for sure. I've posted our Discord link in the description of this live stream and pretty much in every video. Thoughts about becoming an officer in the merchant navy. It's either this, immigrating, or some kind of remote work. How close are you to securing remote work? Because if you have a remote work option and you can move somewhere, definitely do it. The tricky thing with remote work is it's hard to establish it. If you have like a safe offer to be an officer in the merchant, depending on how much it pays, I would say it might be worth it to do that. Live with your parents. Do it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however much you need to save up a comfortable amount. And then, you can buy a property, move somewhere, you start your own homestead, van life, whatever, right? It's so hard gaining a form while you work. Imagine sitting 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. No shit, you're going to be discouraged from working out. Yeah, I know. I understand, man. I understand. Don't you miss your family and friends in the US? Oh, of course, man. But, it's just like, you get to a point, right, in life where you have to decide on priorities and you have to make choices. What's more important to you, And, you have to make choices in life. And so I was in a position, I had to make a choice. I love my friends, I love my family, but what's more important to me? Is it more important to hang out with my friends from high school and with my family for forever? Or is it more important to escape wage slavery? I had to make the choice. It was more important to escape wage slavery, And, one of the prices you pay is you miss your friends and family. I would say for me, it was a worthy choice, but that is one of the choices and the sacrifices you have to make. It's actually not that hard to escape wage slavery, guys. The problem is it takes sacrifice, it takes choice, and that is painful for a lot of people, which I understand. You got to leave behind your family, your friends, your pets. Pets are probably the hardest thing to leave if you got them, I got to say. Like, sadly, my favorite dog recently died, but I was just thinking about, like, if I was with him in America and, I wanted to leave, but I'd have to leave him behind, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Family, most of us don't have the best relationship with our family, so that's a bit easier. Friends, it's like, yeah, it'll be sad if you miss them, but, your friends, they're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to be there for you. Oh, they might be there for you forever, but they're not going to solve your problems for you, And yeah, it's just one of those things you have to make a decision at some point. Bonjour! Comment ça va? Welcome back. Good to see you again. How you been? I read a bit about Sterner, by the way. Ooh. Giga anarchist. Your accent doesn't sound like it's from the US. I've been living in Europe long enough. Some people say I picked up a bit of a European accent. Where do you think my accent's from, actually? Just curious. Maybe it's just like a mix of a bunch of things now. Think about helping parents with their debts and acquiring it as a property since I'm not getting my own place anyways. What do you think? Yeah, why not? And then see if like see if you can what was I saying? Sorry, guys. See if you can establish some sort of online remote work. Guys, I'm telling you, the biggest expense that's keeping you in wage slavery is food and accommodation. So if you can solve accommodation by living with parents, for example, you're already halfway towards escaping the rat race forever. So yeah, definitely do that. I would do that. Especially if you have a somewhat decent relationship with your parents. What did you think about him? Well, very interesting guy, I must say. Yes, he seems like quite a bit of an anarchist and extreme, but I don't mean extreme in a bad way. I just mean, okay, radical is probably a better way to think about it. Yeah, and I think his ideas might work better in the modern day. Like, they might have just been like too far ahead of his time, but with a lot of the technology we have now, we might be able to actually implement some of his ideas better today. What do you think of that, by the way, actually? By the way, thanks for participating in my post. Like, it was really fun bashing those capitalist shills in the comments the other day. You know, I don't like either capitalism or communism, guys. If you follow me, you know this about me already. What frustrates me is like people who support capital, or let's call it corporatism if you would rather call it that. People who support capitalism / corporatism have the most frustrating, dishonest double standards ever when you try to engage in a conversation with them. Just the fact that I have to use the word corporatism proves it. Because, okay, what I mean by this is this, like, you're not allowed to say that wasn't real socialism, right? Like, when they want to point out about whatever, Venezuela, whatever, and you want to say, you know, that wasn't real socialism, they'll laugh at you. They've even successfully made a meme out of it, all right? Here we go with the that's not real socialism comments again. But when you point out the failures of capitalism, what do they default to? That's not real capitalism. That's corporatism. Okay, I'm not going to get into too much of this capitalism, communism shit. I feel that's a bit unproductive at this point. And I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me rant about all this too. So let's move on. On my way to looking for something remote, just keep trying. I mean, there's nothing. I don't have like a secret magic wand solution for you. You just got to keep trying. And I don't mean it in like a delusional red pill. Just keep trying, grinding, bro. What I mean is just like you have nothing else to lose, so just keep trying until hopefully at some point someone says yes, or maybe start your own thing. Yeah, like, yeah. Just I don't mean keep trying in a red pill sense. I mean like keep trying in the sense that like you have nothing to lose at this point anyways. Both systems created by the same people. Exactly. Salaries for merchant Navy officers start at $100,000 tax-free in a country with average pre-tax of $7K. Not bad. If you are an electrical engineer officer, salaries start at $4,000, but you have no option to become a captain or chief engineer with a salary of $16,000 a month. Hold on. Let me see if I'm getting this right. Salaries start at $4,000. I'm assuming that's per month. No option to become a captain or chief engineer. Oh, so there's no upward mobility is what you mean. I mean, $4,000 a month is still decent. You do that for a year, you'll save up like, let's say after taxes, you'll save up what, like $35,000? You do it for 2 years, you'll save up $70,000. You can buy your own place there. You can travel the world. You can invest in a van and do van life if that's what you want. Where are you guys seeking for a remote job? All jobs I see in Russia are kind of shit. I don't have a great answer for that. Like, I'm doing YouTube, so that's a bit different. Has anyone here been successful with remote work and could give our friend here some ideas? I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. I never got used to the Cyrillic alphabet, guys. I'm sorry. Miss K, do you know how to pronounce that name? I think you mentioned at one point you were from an ex-Soviet country. So I'm assuming you might know some level of Russian. How do I pronounce this guy's name? I want to say it's Vladimir, but I want to... Oh, I was right. Oh my goodness, I was actually right. Vlad, okay. Wow, dude. I kind of just... I've traveled so much, and I've been to some ex-Soviet countries. I never learned the Cyrillic alphabet, but I just developed a bit of a language intuition, so I actually guessed that right. Okay. Vladislav. Nice, okay. Nice. So, yeah. Don't you think that universal basic income can be a trap of this? Well, it can be, for sure. Like, it can be, yeah. Like, if you're asking if it can be, yeah, if we don't implement it correctly, of course. You know, just like anything can be bad if you implement it incorrectly. I think I talk to you guys a lot, and I'm glad actually you guys, this is what I love about this community right here. Like, you guys, you don't just agree with me on everything just because, you know, for whatever reason, right? Like, if you disagree, you'll push back. And it's forced me to actually reevaluate and think of better solutions. So, for example, when I talked about universal basic income, a lot of you guys pointed out a very, very good point, which is, you know what? The government couldn't be authoritarian about that. They can say, well, if you say something we don't like, we're going to take away your UBI. Very fair point. How do we figure out a solution to that, right? My personal solution is if I were in charge, I would distribute it through blockchain technology, through decentralized blockchain technology. That way, no central figure has complete, total control over it. Oh, this is so depressing, guys, this fucking gray area. I'm going to go complete. I've been delaying this mission because it makes my computer lag, but these gray skies have been depressing for too long. I'm just going to go do it. Anyways, I would distribute UBI via blockchain technology, decentralized, so no one can say, for example, you said something we don't like, therefore we're going to take it away. Of course, the logic I don't understand about that is, yes, it's true. Okay, let's say like if we implemented UBI and the governments could be like, you say something we don't like, we're going to take away your UBI. But what's the end result of that? You won't receive any money from the government. What's already going on now? You already don't receive any money from the government. And is wage slavery a better solution? Like, is working for a corporation a better solution? Can't a corporation also, not only a corporation can, they all the time do say, you said something we don't like, we're not going to pay you anymore, you're fired. Like, I don't understand this logic of, okay, government's bad, we don't want to trust the government, right? Fair enough. But we're going to trust corporations? I don't know. Someone explained that to me. But yeah, back to the point about universal basic income. Blockchain technology would be the way you have to do it. I think instead of UBI, we should focus on things like housing, healthcare, and whatnot. That way you can spend most of the money you want, however you want, since needs are covered, no problem. I thought about that too. That's a great point. I thought about that too. But the one issue I see with that is, how do you exactly solve the housing issue? Because, okay, let's say you say we give everyone their free house, right? Some people are going to want to live in the city. Some people are going to want to live on a farm. Some people are going to want to live on land that's more valuable than others. How do you fairly distribute it? Do you just say we have a quota of let's say like everybody gets like, pick a number, $50,000 that they can use to buy whatever property they want when they turn 18. And then they can buy it anywhere they want. Maybe that could work. But yeah, that's the only tricky part I see about like the universal basic. It's called universal basic services, what you're saying. How do you solve for like who gets to live where is my question. But that's not bad. That might even work better because in UBI, you really have to deal with the inflation issue. Whereas with universal basic services, you would not, right? It wouldn't really cause a huge inflation problem. Did your job market bombing idea succeed? Let's rephrase that so they don't think I'm some radical here. I'm assuming you mean my spamming the employers with job interviews. You know what? The last time I live streamed it, someone kept saying it might be illegal, so I stopped. But when I looked back on it, there was nothing illegal about it. So I might do it again one of these days. If our basics were covered and we'd have a system that's focused on making new and cooler inventions to get the money, since it now isn't taken up by necessities. I'm not sure I quite understand that 100%. Precisely. Oh, yeah. I see what he's saying now. Yeah. And then the biggest problem is also you wouldn't be forced to take a job for low pay or horrible working conditions. There's just they say with free market, you got free market negotiations. You know what? Let me just see if I can fast travel out of this shit. They say supposedly you're supposed to have free market rights, but how do you have any free market rights whatsoever when it's there's technically a free market. You can accept and negotiate for whatever wage you want. But if you don't accept the lowest wage possible, you starve and go homeless. It's like pointing a gun to someone's head and being like, God damn it, I can't teleport. Pointing a gun to someone's head and being like, hey, technically you have the free will to get shot in the head if you want. We're not forcing you to not get shot in the head. You can choose to do what you want. It's just if you don't do what we say, you'll get shot in the head. But technically, you can choose to get shot in the head, so you have free will. Oh, I swear that's how delusional some of these people are. Okay, it looks like I'm going to be able to climb up this. Are we going to have enough stamina to get up these things? I really don't want to be stuck in this like gray sky forever. Ah, damn it. Okay, I'll try again. Don't you have to put your assets in? No. What we were doing, we were just like filling out AI-generated resumes with fake names, fake everything, and spamming employers with them. That's what we were doing. Would it be easier to climb up this if I jumped? No, because the jumping takes a lot of stamina, it turns out. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if the gameplay's not the most entertaining thing. Climbing up this mountain. This is seriously like trying to get ahead in this economy. Bro got stuck there like most people in low-paying jobs. Exactly. You read my mind. This is exactly what I want to say. If we can climb this cliff, guys, in the span of this live stream, this is a perfect metaphorical representation for escaping the rat race right now. Like, right here, right? Like, you can climb slowly and try to, like, save more energy, but then it takes longer to get up there. Or you can try to jump to get up there faster, but then you burn more energy, right? And so you never make it there anyways. So what this is basically like is if you try to, when this reloads, I'm going to show you guys. Let's say this wall right here is freaking this bullshit economy, right? Climbing up it slowly like this is like trying to work a typical 9-to-5 job to get out of it, right? It's just a slow and painful death. If you go to college and try to get an education, well, you can skip a step a bit, right? You can go up a bit faster, but it also takes up way more energy. So no matter what you do, what route you take, you end up in the same exact place. Oh my God, this has got to be like the perfect representation. Okay, can you just revive me somewhere where I'm not stuck? Watch, I'm going to laugh so hard if this revives me back in the city finally. And then that'll be the perfect metaphor. You know why? Because that'll prove, oh, it did. So this is the only way to escape wage slavery. This is the only way to escape this system, guys. Is to die and hope that you're reincarnated into a richer family. That's basically how I ultimately got out of it. You see that, guys? Like, I just died so many times. Both my characters totally ran out of health. And I got reincarnated into a better situation. That's the only way you actually escape this bullshit. I'm telling you. Pull yourself up that wall through your bootstraps. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. I hate hearing the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I hate it too. I mean, I don't know what you... Okay, like, I hate it in the sense that it's too real, basically. Yeah, I think that's what you mean too. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably stream for about 15 more minutes, guys, then I'm gonna hop off. Yeah, at the top of the hour, wherever you are. If you have any questions, just want to reiterate real quick, guys. Thank you so much we're at 8K subscribers now. We're growing strong as a community. I'm starting to get to a point where I might be able to just do YouTube full time and spend my whole time dedicated to, figuring out all together how we get out of this. I'm a fan of universal basic income, guys. I'm not someone who can't change my mind, though. Like, if someone presents a better solution, I'm all ears, all open to listening to it. And yeah, we're just all in this together, trying to figure out our way through this, this messed up world. When will your next stream be? I might do one tomorrow with my editor. We were actually supposed to do it today, but something came up on his end. So we might just like do a live stream again tomorrow. We will see. Maybe stream Warframe or Age of History 3. We're probably going to stream Assassin's Creed Shadows tomorrow, the new one. My editor is... he's Eastern European, I'm American, meaning he's slightly less fucked than me. Neither of us can afford, a house or anything our parents could, but him being European means he's slightly less fucked than me, and he can afford a good enough computer to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the best I can do is Genshin Impact. That's the best way I can put it. But yeah, we'll probably stream the new Assassin's Creed Shadows tomorrow. That'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah, we're all pretty screwed, but yeah, just some of us more so than others, I would say. In terms of social mobility, as an electrical engineer, if you pick your ship well, you can even get a salary of 12 to 15K. Are you talking per month here? If you're talking per month, you got to do that. I would totally do that if I was like, oh, but that's not the starting. So how long would it take to work up to that, would you say? You got to do it for what, like 3 years or like 5 to get to a position where you're making that much? Captain Vague giving vague advices be like that. Yeah. Well, at least I'm in the city now. Okay, I'll probably just go in the castle, see what the next mission is, because I'm tired of this, like, depressing weather. Whew. Another idea, drone pilot in the army. Oh, interesting. Aren't they doing like AI for... I read that they're using AI for some of those drones now. It's scary. Super scary. If you pick an LNG ship, it won't take more than 1 year to... Are you kidding me, bro? You got to do that then. Like, if you can do that, like, you could save up like 100K in 2 years. Are you kidding? Definitely do that. And then you're from Romania, and I don't know. Do you want to stay in Romania? Like, I visited Romania before. I loved it, but I understand a lot of the locals don't like it. So, do you want to stay in Romania, or do you want to like move somewhere else? I'm just curious. Bro, I love Brasov. I'm telling you, Brasov to this day is my favorite city in all of Europe. Look up Brasov, Romania. Those of you who are not familiar with Romania, beautiful city. Probably the best old town I've seen. Got a beautiful mountain range around it. And I lived in a hostel there for $7 a month. Yeah. Lived on the bare minimum, but I got to live in one of the most beautiful cities. It was a great experience. Yeah, so if I were you, I would just be like, okay, I'll do this, save up 100K after a couple years, buy myself a property in Brasov. But I mean, that's me speaking as a foreigner, right? I know, like, if you're an actual Romanian, you know, there's the corruption and the other things that might make you want to move abroad. So I'm just saying that if you want to stay in Romania, I would get a place in Brasov. If not, then where would you want to go, actually, if you don't want to stay there? The rational option, however, living with my parents might make schooling difficult. Yeah, and I remember you don't exactly have the best situation with your parents either. Norsalik. Okay, I'm not going to try. I don't know how to pronounce that. Norilsk, I'm assuming. Frostpunk in real life. I'll look that up after the stream. Sounds interesting. Where is that? Is I'm assuming it's in Russia, sounds like. I'll look it up. Nice. If you're just tuning in, we're doing a live stream. I'm just extending my gratitude to you all for helping me get to 8K here. It's a huge milestone for us. 8K feels huge. I'm going to tell you guys why. Because it feels like it's just one step away from 10K. Right? Like 6K, when I was talking to my editor about this, like when we got to 6K, 5K was nice, but 6K was like, okay, we're closer to 10K than to 0. But 6K is just like such an evil, unlucky number that we just wanted to get through 6K as soon as possible. Once we got to 7K, that was like, okay, This is a lucky number. We're actually closer to 10K than to 0 right now. That's what that represented. And 8K kind of represents like we're like right there, you know? Like we're right on the stepping stone. Yeah, hopefully we get there soon. I would like you to see I would like to see you visit the city of Constanta and see your opinion after. Norilsk is the very northern city, if not northmost city in Russia. Yeah. I think I believe so too. Yeah. Isn't Constanta the Romanian city by the sea? Yeah. So you know, your home country's nice, bro. I mean, okay, I mean the people are nice, the nature. I know the politicians and the systems aren't great, but it was definitely one of my favorite cities I've traveled to. Some of my fondest memories there. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah. All right, I'll stream for about 10 more minutes here, guys. Till the top of the hour. Yo, since like a lot of you are talking to each other right now, why don't you all join our Discord? Join up our Discord. The link is okay, let me just double check to be sure it's in the description. Yeah, our Discord's in the description. Feel free to join it. We got a great community there. You can like continue your discussions with each other there. We got a lot of great community members, a lot of interesting discussions going on there. So yeah, if you guys want to continue this, because I see, you know, y'all are talking to each other in the live stream chat, which is great to see. And this is how we ultimately find solutions. You know, we just build our community, put all our ideas together and discuss it all. You know, like multiple brains are better than one. So yeah, join our Discord, guys. Link is actually in the video description. I double checked to be sure. And yeah, we can all continue to talk. Over there, I would like to hear your point of view about Australia. See if there's anything I overlooked. Now, I'm not too knowledgeable on Australia, to be honest. I have heard both from Australians living there and from, you know, YouTube that Australia is just as cooked as anywhere now. Like apparently housing's totally screwed there. I used to want to live in Australia because I read like the minimum wage there was like $20 per hour compared to, you know, $7 in America. But it probably doesn't mean that much given how expensive everything's gotten now. It's crazy because just 10 years ago when I was trying to escape this shit as a millennial, like $20 per hour was a good, decent wage, right? And now it's just like, it's nothing, you know? And it's hard to even get paid 20 an hour now. And even if you get paid that, I imagine, you tell me, $20 an hour is probably nothing in Australia. Like, it's probably not even enough to afford your own place at this point. You will probably have to split with multiple roommates off $20 per hour. And it's the same everywhere now. It's just so crazy. It's not that long ago, 20 per hour was a very decent wage. AK-47. Whew. Has a nice seaside, that's about it. Is that 20 US dollars? US dollars. It's US dollars we're talking. Yeah. Just to be clear. Yeah, it is. So, I mean, yeah, like 20 US dollars per hour is just, it's not going to get you anything anymore. And it's just not that long ago where it was a very, very decent wage, especially for a young person. But yeah, it's not good enough, anymore, for sure. For sure. You guys can even do the math on it. You'll see easily. After taxes, after having to pay for a car to get to work, and, you know, with how expensive rent is, yeah, you'll have to be living with 5 roommates in the ghetto with that these days. Unless you can find a remote job where you can get paid $20 per hour online and move somewhere cheap overseas. That's the one way you could do it. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to like work a physical job physical location job, in Australia or America or the UK or, anywhere in the West, to be honest. Yeah, I heard it's actually the worst in Canada right now, from what I heard. It seems like it's all the Anglosphere countries that are the most cooked right now, like US, Australia, UK, Canada. And I thought America was the worst, but people in my comments say like it's even worse in the UK and Canada, which I believe. It's hard to envision how it could possibly be worse than how it is in America, but I guess that's where we are. My motto in life is that the more you want to control something and desire something, the more it controls you. And the only way to be controlled is to give up and just accept yourself, and that you're only totally 100%. This applies to literally everything. Read up a bit of Bruce Lee's philosophies. He was all about just letting go, detaching yourself from the need for anything. And then once you're able to do that, ironically, you get what you want, but it's not really what you want because you've detached yourself from the need to want that. But you get what you want, what you wanted before you detached yourself from the need for it, if that makes sense. Whew. Cool. I think I'm going to hop off the live stream, guys. It was good talking to you. Thanks again for all your support. Go join the Discord. If you want to continue this conversation, I saw a lot of you engaged in very good conversations, in this live chat right here. Join our Discord. It's in the link is in the video description of this live stream itself. You can join our Discord. I hop on there sometimes myself to, talk to you all just about everything we talk about. And we can continue this talk there. And I'll probably be live streaming with my editor tomorrow, but we'll see about that. But yeah, hang in there, guys. It's great being back in touch with all of you. Wish you the best of luck surviving this god-awful economy, but we'll make it through. We'll figure it out. And, this community, I have faith, will... One day, it's going to be a long, tough journey, but one day we'll hopefully do this. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You all have a wonderful day. As good of a day as you possibly can in this messed up world. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be right back here for AC.